So I got to play Deadlock for the first time, and here's how it went.
Stay where you are. Locking him down. Nowhere to hide.
The game has been in closed alpha since around May, but due to restrictions, Valve did not allow for creators to stream the game or post gameplay. However, people who gained access to the game were able to invite their friends to join the playtest, and they would be allowed to invite their friends, so on and so forth. And finally, thanks to a friend of mine, I was able to get access to the game as well. Okay, quick update. Literally, as I am recording this, Valve has just lifted the restriction on the game, so it can now be shared and streamed to the public. But since I want to push this video as soon as possible, I'm going to have a match versus bots in the background because there is a matchmaking schedule that doesn't allow you to play against other players until 5 p.m. on the weekdays and 3 p.m. on the weekend. For those of you who don't know, Deadlock is Valve's upcoming game that combines a third-person hero shooter with the MOBA elements. You can choose to play as one of 21 unique characters with different specializations. Ones who are tanky, ones that are about high mobility and burst damage but are squishy, long range damage characters, you name it. There are a lot of different playstyles and abilities to pick and choose from, and additionally, it's an Overwatch 2 Coper's worst nightmare. 6v6.
Did I jump scare you? Yeah, I bet I did.
When you choose a character, you are assigned to one of 4 lanes like your typical MOBA, but you are not restricted to them. You enter your lane through an overhead zipline in which you can activate a long cooldown to increase your travel speed on said zipline to get back into the fight quicker, so it's best not to use this boost right away. Each lane has its own turret or tower, in which each team fights to take down in order to reach their Nexus equivalent or base, called the Patron. You also have minions that spawn periodically to help you in your push for objectives, ranging from close quarter minions, ranged minions, and healer minions. As you eliminate minions and opponents, you gain experience and currency, which is called souls. You can level up your 3 basic abilities and eventually reach a level where you can unlock and upgrade your ultimate ability. You also spend your accumulated souls on different items or mods to tailor to different kinds of builds that synergizes with your character. Since there are 4 lanes, the map itself is massive. So while you are able to roam to different lanes to help your teammates, or go for split pushes, even with the higher mobility characters, it could take you a little bit to get where you're trying to go. The distance between the lanes, however, is quite short, so the roaming and gank potential is quite high, even at early game. If you're familiar with MOBAs, then you'll understand a lot of these terminologies. With all that introductory information finally out of the way, is Deadlock actually good? It's pretty solid. I've been getting back into League of Legends in the last few months. Gross, I know, but I've been applying that knowledge to Deadlock, and a lot of it transfers really well. Almost one-to-one. There's a lot of depth to the game even with how early in development it is. The different items currently available and different builds are almost endless. It has a similar feel to Smite and Paladins. There's a mini-boss in the center of the map that both teams can fight over. There's a chance of finding permanent buffs when you shoot objects. There are camps that you can kill for bonus XP and currency. You have a lot of options to tailor the way you want to play the game. I know Marvel Rivals is the big name that's going around right now, and while I am a huge fan of Marvel Rivals, I think Deadlock has more potential to be a really competitive game. Now, is it the best game ever like some people are saying? No. At least in my opinion. Is it close? Maybe. Still too early to say. People have been calling both Marvel Rivals and Deadlock the Overwatch killers, and that certainly isn't the case for either games. Marvel Rivals is a bit closer to Overwatch than Deadlock is, but I wouldn't call it an Overwatch killer. Deadlock is an entirely different genre altogether, so I don't think they can be compared. Deadlock's characters aren't as flashy and colorful, there isn't too much unique dialogue aside from some battle chatter here and there. However, both games will definitely provide some much needed competition within the similar space, in which all games can learn from one another. With any new game, there will be a lot of attention on it, as well as creators eager to make a big name for themselves and switching from their main game. While I do enjoy the game, it does have some of the pain points that I have with other MOBAs. Early game can feel really sluggish until you get at least one item and your abilities unlocked. It feels like I'm shooting at bullet sponges until a later game where I'm still shooting bullet sponges, but I have fun and cool abilities to play around with. Next, there are a lot of CC abilities at the moment, or at least in my experiences so far. For those of you who don't know, CC refers to crowd control abilities, meaning abilities that make it very hard for you to move or play the game. Abilities like slow or stun. It wasn't uncommon to be in the middle of a team fight and then not being able to play the game for at least 8 seconds straight. Respawn timers can be really rough late game. I caught myself almost falling asleep at times, but that's primarily because I'm bad in died a dumb death. So overall, my main complaints at the moment are just some small pacing issues and balancing, which are pretty tame complaints for a game that's still in closed alpha. Just a bit of more visual polish and more sound effects, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this game was ready for its official launch right now. I think a big issue with a lot of live service games right now is that there isn't anything new to take the industry by storm. Nothing really unique and innovative that sticks around for a while. People are desperately looking for the new League of Legends, Overwatch, Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, Valorant. Players want a brand new game to fall in love with and grind. Will Deadlock be that game for some people? Yeah, I can see it. Will it be for everyone? Absolutely not. The biggest factor, however, will be whether or not Deadlock can retain its momentum and keep players engaged. The biggest upside to Deadlock that I think we can all agree on is that this game has a pretty solid vision on who this game is for. Many games that tend to come and go are ones that try to appeal to as many players as possible. In Deadlock's case, however, if you don't like MOBAs, you will not like this game. If you do like MOBAs, you probably will like this game. But whichever side of the fence you're on about it, it's definitely a game to keep an eye on. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll definitely be playing this game for a while. I mean, there's already been 2 showcases of new upcoming characters being revealed on Twitter, and it has me really excited for its future. Valve typically has a good track record for making solid games, but I'm praying that they don't make questionable decisions in the future, just for the sake of shaking things up, like some other games I may know. But anyways, that's going to be it for me today. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, comment, and subscribe. But until the next video, I'll talk to you guys soon.